The left has long claimed to champion women's issues, but I'm not afraid to say it. President Trump has probably been the strongest fighter for women's safety, privacy, and fairness, especially on the field and in the locker room. Today, campus reform is breaking down key Title IX moves from the Trump administration to restore fairness and biological reality in women's spaces. Let's get into it. Day one meant game on for President Trump. He wasted no time in signing the executive order, defending women from gender ideology extremism, and restoring biological truth to the federal government. That title is about as long as a CVS receipt, but it really comes down to just a few simple words: men are men, women are women. Common sense. When Trump said that he was fighting for women, he meant actual women. Next up, President Trump signed the executive order keeping men out of women's sports, which, as the name suggests, banned men from competing in women's sports. Every little girl with a soccer ball probably could have written that rule herself. But it's funny how the last administration couldn't even define what a woman was without having to call up the gender experts. And Trump's already banned testosterone from women's sports and kicked dudes out of the locker room. And get this, the NCAA actually listened. In response to the executive order banning men from women's sports, the NCAA amended its policy to say men can't compete on women's teams. Woohoo! Common sense. But what about all those trophies that went to men over the years? Yeah, they need to go back to their rightful owners. The Department of Education then turned its attention to records, titles, and awards, urging the NCAA to strip titles taken by men, like UPenn swimmer William Leah Thomas, and restore them to the women who actually earned them. Sorry, boys, you don't get to keep the medals you didn't earn. Hand back the medals and the mascara. Fairness means giving women their victories back. Then the administration formed a new task force called the Title IX Special Investigations Team. It's a joint effort between the Department of Justice and the Department of Education. They teamed up, kind of like the Avengers, but for women's sports. The team has one mission: protect women's spaces and enforce biological reality, and universities quickly felt the impact. Here's where the investigations into universities kicked off, and the administration has some notable victories. Turns out colleges suddenly discover what biology is when federal funding is on the line. Starting off with the University of Pennsylvania, of course, home to male swimmer William Thomas. The administration investigated and found the school violated federal civil rights law. Imagine that. UPenn entered an agreement where it agreed to remove men from women's sports, restore records to female athletes, and apologize to every affected female swimmer. Colleges seem to learn real fast and change their ways when money is involved. I guess money talks, and apparently it speaks fluent in common sense. Next up, Wagner College, a school that made headlines for allowing a man to compete on its women's fencing team. Yeah, they entered into a pretty similar agreement with the administration. The school agreed to update its athletic policies to reflect biology and even send personalized apology letters to every affected female athlete. Sorry, ladies, our bad for putting you in danger and taking away your privacy. Yeah, I'd love to see what those apology letters actually look like, because it probably went something like that. But this fight hasn't just been isolated to women's sports. It's also extended to women's spaces like sororities. Campus Reform has been covering a case since 2022 when the University of Wyoming Kappa Kappa Gamma chapter became the first sorority to welcome a male member. A 21-year-old man was admitted into the chapter and was accused of inappropriate behavior by women in the sorority house. The Trump administration launched an investigation into the University of Wyoming because, sororities are for sisters, not for brothers, and because these women, of course, deserve safety in their home. We will be tracking this case at Campus Reform and bringing you the latest updates. So there you have it, a recap of pivotal Title IX reforms under the Trump administration. From day one orders to nationwide investigations, these moves represent a total reversal of Biden's gender policies and a full-fledged fight to protect women's sports and spaces. Check out this coverage and more at campusreform.org. I'm reporter Emily Sturge. Thanks for watching.